And welcome back to Cover 2 Credits. Today we'll be doing another episode of Cover 2 Credits Arcade where we break down a video game. Today we are doing the recent Kickstarter edition Darkest Dungeon. It's a roguelike RPG, it's super grimdark, and it is rocking it old school. It's one of the, they raised like $300,000 on Kickstarter.
They raised, and I gotta look it up, they raised $313,000. It was 418% of what they originally were asking. So it was heavily backed and very anticipated by all those people, obviously. So this isn't some slouch game that came out of nowhere. This is something that people are looking forward to since March of last year is when the Kickstarter started. And it launched earlier, last week? A couple weeks back.
No, this week. This week.
There you go.
I think.
This week.
Today's Tuesday. Last Tuesday.
So we'll start from the beginning.
Red
Red Hook Studios is who is the developer for this game. They're based out of Vancouver, Canada. It's like a 7-man studio. You know, they outsource some things with audio and things. The game, like I said, came out last few weeks. They are right now they're receiving PC, Mac, PS4, and Vita launches. I don't know if it all launched the same, or just PC first, Steam first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if everything went at the same time. You've played it more than I have.
Basically, the premise of the game is you start out, and what's happened is that you are the last member of this ancient noble family. And your father, who was basically into booze and hookers, discovers that there is some sort of secret otherworldly power buried under your family's mansion. And he goes crazy, blows the entire family fortune digging up this stuff, and turns out, it's crazy evil, everything gets corrupted.
It's a gate.
It's like a gate to the old ones, and crazy occult monsters and tentacle horrors start spewing out and murdering everyone, and they destroy your family's manor, and your father, realizing that he's done something horrible, kills himself. But
not after writing you a letter.
Not before he writes you a letter saying, hey, you should come home and try to fix all this crap that I broke, because I'm a terrible father. And then he offs himself, and kapoof, you get a letter, you start the game, you go to your mansion, and then you start. Basically, the game is a procedural dungeon crawler. All the monsters are random, all the encounters are random, all the dungeons are random.
Side-scrolling.
It's side-scrolling, and it is an old school turn-based combat game with decent abilities, solid leveling system. But what makes the game really interesting is that all of your heroes have their own sort of personality quirks that give them particular skills or particular crazinesses. And like, I have a rogue who is a human. He's a human slayer because he loves killing people. He's a nymphomaniac, which means he gets 20% stress relief from brothels, and I believe he believes he is possessed by a demon. And every time one of your characters finishes a dungeon, you can click the button and they will gain a random personality trait. Could be good, could be bad, could be terrible, you don't know. Everything in this game is that way. Everything is random. Even like when you level up, random stuff happens. And most of it's terrible. Like, you're in the dungeon, you see a box, do you really want to open it? No, you don't want to open it in this game. Because it will be a trap, and it will poison your entire party, and they will all die. Or it will give them too much stress, and then they will turn masochistic,
and they'll
start going crazy and doing random shit and attacking each other, and it's bad.
To me, that's one of the coolest aspects, almost more than the randomness of the characters. Mm-hmm. The sanity versus insanity aspect of this game is kind of interesting.
It's very old school, sort of. It's
psychological.
Yeah, it's a very dark game. It's probably the darkest game I've ever played.
For reference, I've played this game once. Started playing, probably not even through the first dungeon.
Yeah, you lasted about 15 minutes until your entire party died.
Yep, everybody's dead. Everybody died.
Everybody dies.
I
there is no autosave. There is no reversal. The game auto saves every single move you make. So if all your characters die, all your characters are dead.
Yep.
You have to start the entire game over to try and get them back.
Not
That's
a
the only way.
forgiving game.
No.
For reference, one thing that we forgot to mention: this is considered early access. They have not launched completely, so this is considered an early access game. Thus, the Steam access probably before the consoles. Don't quote me on that. We're not sure exactly what all it launched on. They say eventually they're talking about PS4 and Vita.
But yeah, no, it's solid, well done. The art style is very, very cool, especially for the ambiance the game is going for.
It's kind of a weird like comic book-y.
Yeah, it's got like a cool. If you ever played the game Bastion, you'll know what I'm talking about. They have a narrator, but unlike the super happy like cool guy they got for Bastion, this guy is. He's always using these like really elaborate like dark words, and he's always saying horrible stuff.
He's very mundane and very dark and gloomy.
And it's very. He gives it. It sounds really, really awesome.
Yeah, like the narration in this game by itself.
It depresses
is really cool.
you, but it's awesome.
Yeah, don't play if you're in a bad mood.
It's not the game for that.
No.
It's very. It's like I said. You'll probably die a lot. All of your characters will die. You'll get attached to them, and they will die.
I found out. You died right now. I'll say I'm not a big turn-based guy. I never have been. Never been. I'm going to say this and get hate for it, but I've never been a huge Final Fantasy fan. I'm just not. It's just not my thing. I'm more of the sports game shooter guy. You know, Assassin's Creed, stuff like that. And I'm not saying they're bad games. I not mean that. I just never got into it that much. I never had. I went from a PS1 to an Xbox, and I never really had more of the Final Fantasy side through the PlayStation stuff. Just never played them, and I never had another turn-based strategy. This is a fun turn-based game, and like when you say it's turn-based, it's like great. This is gonna be interesting, maybe But no, it's fun. It's a fun game. It's difficult. It's not easy.
It is not forgiving.
Yeah.
If you get frustrated easily, do not play this game.
Yeah, because you're going. There's no way around it.
It's bad. You'll die a lot.
He said all my characters died. All my characters died. But first, they all went mad. So I didn't get through the first dungeon without losing sanity and then all dying. Sad day.
Now people are crazy.
Yeah. So what do you get for rating right now? Early access rating.
That's tough. I haven't seen enough of the game to give it a total and complete rating, but I would say probably a 7, depending on how it goes. The problem with roguelike games is after you get to a certain point, your character is sort of a super badass, and you don't really have to try that hard anymore. I have the feeling this game is not going to be like that, since all your characters die all the time and they go crazy.
I have a feeling instead it's going to get to where at a certain point it becomes impossible.
That could happen as well. I don't even know if it is possible to beat this game. It might not be. It would not surprise me if it's not. But it is so fun to play. I'm going to give it a reluctant 7. I think it's probably around an 8, but until I know more about it, I can't really give it a firm 7. But I'm going to say it's probably a 7 because, like I said, it's roguelike and they all sort of suffer from the same maladies of eventually the gameplay gets really repetitive. Which I could see happening in this game pretty easily if I put more hours into it. But it is, one, production value is awesome for the amount of money they had to work with. Every time I see a game like this, and it is excellent, and it's high quality stuff, and the writing is good, and then I see a game that EA shoves out the door, and they spent $200 million on, and it's complete trash, it makes you wonder, what is really going on in the games industry? Because I do not know. But, like I said, this is a solid addition. It was built from Kickstarter. They rolled it out the door for $300,000, and
in less than a year.
Imagine they are going to make a killing.
Oh, hands down.
Because this game is good.
I will say only because of my personal quirks with turn-based. I would say 6 still, and it's early access. It probably could go up. I could definitely see how it could get repetitive quickly. The levels are cool. The art style is amazing. The narration's good. I mean, everything is good. It's not like it's anything bad about the game at all. It'll be interesting to see where it goes once they go full launch. But yeah, I mean, I think a 6 personally. I mean, but in either way, it's a good game. One thing we didn't mention, it's $20 for the early access. They haven't announced if that'll go up once it's a full release or not. But I mean, would you recommend it?
Oh, definitely. Especially if you're into roguelike games, you're into old school RPGs, into turn-based games. This is, like I said,
Right up your alley.
There's a ton of indie games out there right now that do it, and this is another shining example of why you spend $20 on a game and get way better games than you spend $60 on a game and get. And it is, like I said, it's good.
Yeah.
It's worth the $20.
Well, thank you guys for watching. Today's the first episode of our Cover the Credits Arcade. We've done one of the game review, but we want to say if there's any games you guys know of or have seen, indie game, launch game. We're not big console guys, but sometimes we'll see what we can do still. If there's a game you want us to look at and review, let us know. If there's something you want to you're looking forward to that's coming out down the line, and you want us to look things up about the trailers or something like that, let us know. We'll take any input you got on games. So we play a little bit of everything. But
a little bit of everything.
Yeah, thank you guys. Follow us, like, subscribe. Yeah, well, like, subscribe, share if you know of anybody that likes these kind of games and thinks maybe we'd be interesting to listen to.
Thanks for staying till after the credits.